Yeah, holy shit, TheDarkStream. We're going to play.
My name is Chicka.
Not the Slim Shady. Oh my god.
Anyway, I'm Darth Camden Jace.
I'm Darth Zero.
As you can see from the die roll, I was higher than Rictus.
19-1, baby.
That is quite the dynamic.
Never tell me the
Therefore,
odds.
on the play, as you can see, we're Oath versus Squeevine. This would be round 4 of the simulated vintage tournament.
Squeevine going in at 2-1. Same with Blazin Oath at 2-1. Squeevine's is fictional. Blazin Oath does not.
It's kind of fictitious still, though, because, you know, in a real tournament, we're not going to run into a different deck every round. I mean, I've had that happen, but it's rare.
True. You're usually going to play at least an archetype or two twice on a 7+ round tournament.
I've had a 7-rounder with 5 of the same deck.
So I thought about
last
countering
weekend.
this. I had but a single Force of Will, and I thought about using it here.
Now, what prevented you from doing so?
The fear that he had like Bazaar already, and that I needed to counter something else. Like, I don't know. Also, the desire to protect my own Oath later.
Okay.
It turns out
makes sense.
it was the correct move to not force that.
Well,
I didn't have the Bazaar.
yeah.
I had 2 crop rotations.
Hindsight in 2020.
Well, but the Force Will got the first crop rotation, which bought a turn.
Right, that's a no-brainer. That's like an awesome 2-for-1, and you never get to counter Bazaar of Baghdad.
And here it goes. Here's that amazing crop rotation.
I guess it's a 2-for-2 with Force of Will.
Yeah, but a great 2-for-2. Keeps me from starting my engine. So it's a time walk 2-for-2 in your favor.
Yeah. Always happy to be able to counter Bazaar of Baghdad.
Right? It's a rarity when it happens, but man, does it feel good.
We need more counter-target land spells. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Well, we already have one specifically for Bazaar of Baghdad. It counters all the rest of them that will ever happen, City in the Bottle.
I just wish it wasn't an artifact or an enchantment.
Oh, so just really host like at
Just
a battle,
a creature.
no one can interact with it?
I mean, like, creature, make it like a planeswalker that does nothing but a static ability for all I care.
Planeswalker with 1,000 loyalty and a static ability.
I'd like to
Planeswalker's ability, Bazaar sucks. You can't use. Bye.
I mean, I would be fine with a weird, like, battle that messes with that. I could see a battle come in like that.
It would be kind of interesting to have a Planeswalker that only had a static ability and some pretty high loyalty.
Yeah.
Just a wall, man. Just a wall.
So we got a Wrenn and Six. I get the Wasteland, and immediately with Mox Emerald, float the mana. Not that it matters, but do it anyway. And then crop rotate, because
There
Wasteland...
is a blue up. You don't know if there's a daze anywhere.
Yeah, to be fair. And crop rotation grabs the Bazaar. The reason we're obviously not using the Wasteland for anything is, 1, we need the Bazaar, and 2, Wrenn and Six means it's fucking pointless.
Yes. And you don't know, maybe I've got a Wasteland to go with my Wrenn and Six.
True. I actually kind of assumed there was a Wasteland coming next turn. So
I didn't have it. I was just trying to set it up.
Fair. I know I looked at this, and there was a hollow one in the top 2 there. So we got to go Vengevines to the grave and hollow ones into play.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it took me a moment to make sure it was oof, because part of me was like, maybe just once upon a time, now that it's not free, but that's still potentially going to get me another Bazaar, whereas oof does nothing in this matchup. And so there we go.
Right, and that's an enormous fucking problem for the Oath deck.
Yeah, lethal on board, and Oath needs a turn to go
That
through.
is fast.
Turn 2 lethal on board.
Through a counter.
Through a counter.
Yep.
A lot of spells played this game. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9, 10 spells played already this game?
I'll point out here that, like,
Yeah.
This is obviously a game 1, but Bazaar of Baghdad doesn't totally fix this problem, but it does clean it up quite a lot.
How do you mean?
Like if I'd played, or not Bazaar of Baghdad, I'm sorry, Pendrell, Tabernacle,
okay.
right? Because
Yeah,
then
there
you
we go.
just have to pick your favorite one.
Yeah. In that scenario, you keep the hollow ones, you shove the vines back into the grave, and hope to get them one more turn.
You'd
for
only
haste.
get a hollow one because you only had one mana source for upkeep.
Right.
But,
you
yeah.
keep a hollow one, you put the other Vengevines into the grave with the other hollow one, and then you hope you hit like Bazaar or 2 Root Wallace to get the Vengevines to squeak through for another 8 points.
Depending on what you had in hand, I would almost consider keeping a Vengevine over the hollow one due to the amount of artifact enchantment destruction, the likelihood of Force of Vigor, or other things.
Okay, this
It's an
is...
interesting point, yeah.
Oh, great. I didn't really get a very clean image of that. So I can see your boarding is just blow up my Oaths.
Yeah, it's 3 pieces of enchantment removal, and I'm getting rid of Collector's Oof, Black Lotus, and Survival because they're just slow and pointless in this matchup.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time kind of pondering what to leave in, what to take out. Ultimately, I took out 3 of the Planeswalkers that don't really do much against you. The Minsc and Boo, the, I can't remember, it was Dack Fayden.
Yeah.
And Jace TMS. I took out 2 of the Force of Vigors and left 1 in because you present enough targets that 1 could be really useful sometimes.
Sure.
And then we're bringing in Surgical Extraction, Tamiyo's Safekeeping, Tabernacle, Boseiju, and City in a Bottle. I think most of that's self-explanatory. Tamiyo's Safekeeping I like because it counters your Boseiju. And really, that, like we saw how you sideboard in, your way of interacting with me is blowing up Oath.
Yeah.
And Tamiyo's Safekeeping just stops basically anything from blowing up Oath if it's targeted.
Yeah, my side of the board is dictated by can I keep Bazaar in and can I keep Oath out? And if I can't keep Bazaar in, can I explode hard enough that it doesn't matter if I ever use it again?
Explode all over your opponent. How many moles were in this one?
0.
Yeah, this was 0 moles going into game 2 with Blazin Oath on the play for the second time.
All right. Fetch, not sack to make sure Wasteland can't hit. And on my side,
There's the Bazaar opener.
yep.
And
There's always this voice in one's head that's like, fuck, when they keep 7 and drop Bazaar.
Yeah.
is this
Am
that
I going to be
wild?
able to get through this?
Yeah. And this deck explodes really fucking hard compared to most.
And what is our last choice on here? I love the squee in there, Vengevine action. But so far, it doesn't look like we're going to get the triggers for it. Or are we?
Down goes the Wasteland. We keep the Hex Drinkers in hand so that we can have a shot at triggering Squeevine. We do the free hollowed one because we do want to get Gaia's Cradle up and running.
Okay.
And that was why we did the hollow one there instead of keeping it. 1, in case they blow up Bazaar, and 2, because we need something for Cradle, which was the other land.
Okay.
The goal being, hopefully next turn we Bazaar, we hit like another Root Walla, we play Gaia's Cradle, and then we can go Hex Drinker. All of a sudden we've got a board presence and Vengevine hits play and we're off to the races. And that was the logic behind this.
Seems viable. But has there been a Root Walla in game 1? Was there any?
There was never a Root Walla in this match.
No.
We saw 0.
Spoiler
alert.
This match was decided without the use of Root Wallas.
Wow.
So here, I was thinking for a minute. I had an Oath that I had no force of will to back up with, and I had a Boseiju. So the question for me was, blow up your land and then take 4 and see what the fuck you're going to do on top of that, or deploy Oath because you probably can't kill me from 18. And then, like, hope I get to keep it.
Yeah, I think Oath was the right play here.
Yeah, and from here, we backed up a misplay that's going to happen on your turn.
Yeah.
And there's the cleaning of the Oath. Make it that much more
Cleaning
effective.
of the Oath.
Shiny Oath, but not too shiny.
Fresh Oath.
Bazaar looked like it grabbed a Serum Visions and another Once Upon a Time.
Yep, to go with the Serum Powder. That was the top deck for the
Sorry,
turn.
Serum Powder.
Yeah,
Yep.
saw that going to the graveyard, was pretty happy about that.
Yep.
Okay, so far so good.
Here comes that Cradle power.
Yep, so we do the Cradle before we swing in case there is a Force of Vigor. We swing. All right, we're fine. Now we move to Nature's Claim the Oath, which we actually have a Boseiju in hand, but we're 1 mana short of utilizing it.
And here's me forgetting that I have Mental Misstep in hand, and so this gets fucked up for a minute, and then it gets corrected.
It's like, wait a second.
I totally fucking forgot that I
I have a
that.
good card.
Yeah.
I was just hung up on I don't have Force of Will and forgetting that I did have Mental Misstep.
So this matchup also turned a little bit on the fact that we didn't draw a Root Walla. Because if we had gotten a Root Walla, the guy's Cradle goes for 2, I have Boseiju in hand, and now I have an uncounterable way to deal with Oath, and it's a very different game.
Right, but if I get to put imaginary cards in my hand too, it also changes the game.
Sure. But we got to put these hypotheticals out because that is a critical point. And now we get to see old Atraxa hit.
There she is, everyone's favorite standard card.
I can't
Please
believe
ban
those.
it.
The ban leak was fake.
Of course it was.
I am so sad. It was a good list.
This is going to seem like such old news to anybody like watching this archived video.
Yeah. This is during the time of the transition to once-a-year bans.
Yeah.
If that continues,
Presumably,
in years to
you're
come.
watching this 2 months later, and we have an entirely new standard system.
And this is the before 4 times. All
This
right.
is a mighty Atraxa. You hit on
6.
almost every possible.
Yeah, including 2 cards that absolutely shit in this deck's mouth.
Yeah. City in a bottle.
And Narset.
True. And there's even a nice spicy little time walk to sit there.
Right, and my lands were untapped. Yeah, draw another card for the turn. So
Well, it's important.
Draw 6, now draw another.
going into main phase 1, we've picked up 7 cards.
What are we at? Like 11 in hand now? 12?
It was a lot. And then there was
Yeah.
the time walk, so I'm sitting there like, fuck. And then the waste. Nope, this wasn't a wasteland. This was the island. Okay.
No need
Right,
to
and I'm
waste
backing
two
up like,
when it's
oh
just
yeah,
gonna
I've got a
win.
fucking discard to hand size.
Yep.
So many cards.
So many cards.
A fun,
Darth Rictus just setting down the hand and sighing.
a
I knew
fun
it
note.
was going to be a fucking ass whooping. I just had to
Yeah.
wait and see how hard it was going to be.
You know you're in trouble when there's an oath in play and the oath doesn't get used.
Yep, so City in a Bottle blows out Bazaar. Now I can't play Bazaars until I get rid of City. Problem number 1.
And I have Force of Will.
Yes.
I mean, you can. Does it prevent you from playing or just automatically destroys it?
Prevents from playing.
Prevents from playing, okay.
Yeah, you don't even get a chance to tap it.
I wasn't sure if it was destroyed as a state-based effect.
And this was the off the Preordain wasteland to
Insult to injury.
right.
And we drew and called it. That was that.
Atraxa doing its job of being the big boy on campus.
And now we get game 3.
As you can see from the bar, this matchup did not take long. And a lot of this time was spent shuffling. Because we mold. And we mold.
So I mold a 5. I shove a Wasteland and a Squee onto the bottom.
So 1 mole for Oath, 2 moles for Squeevine.
Yep. Then we Bazaar, and here's where we get that second Vengevine. So we have 2 hollow ones, a Bazaar, a Vengevine in hand, and a Wasteland. We draw a Once Upon a Time and another Vengevine. So that's turn 1 now.
Again, looking distinctly like game 1.
And we get to have a Wasteland in hand to make sure that we can stutter step anything we need to.
So I need Tabernacle, like right now.
Yeah.
That's just the only way out of this.
Yep.
So I'm cycling 2 pieces of Power 9.
To try and find.
I was so worried when I saw this. I'm like, oh, fuck, are you going to go land Oath?
That would have been amazing.
I mean, I would have been so impressed.
I still would have lost.
Oh, you're down to 12 already. That's
Yeah.
right, because it hit with 8.
Yeah,
That
I
wasn't
still would
it.
have lost. That
That's
wasn't
it.
good enough. It was Pendrel
Yeah.
or Tabernacle or nothing.
Yep.
No,
okay.
you're fine.
No, there's.
You were swinging for 16.
And Atraxa has 7 lifelink.
Yeah, but I don't get it till my upkeep.
That's not how lifelink works.
I don't get the creature till my
Yeah,
upkeep. That's
the
how
Oath
Oath works.
works.
No, but if you
activated.
go Oath Time Walk, then you get the creature.
Oh yeah, Oath and Time Walk. Yes. That would have done it.
That was
would
the
have done
nightmare
it.
because you did Black Lotus with Time Walk. So I'm like, there's 1 extra mana. You haven't played a land. You go Green Land Oath. GG.
I don't know if it would be GG at that point. It could still. Could still be a slugfest.
It'd be a hell of an uphill battle. We'll
Yeah,
put it
that's
that way.
tough. That's tough because unless you can get rid of the Atraxa, and you can't, right?
No, there's no card in the deck to get rid of it.
So you've got to attack for so much damage that you can lose a creature and have me gain 7 life, and you're coming out ahead.
I would need to top deck Rootwalla into Rootwalla, Squeevine or Vengevine to swing for 20, and that's how I win.
Or like have some maxed out snakes, maybe.
Hexdrinker's too slow. The only out is Vengevine, 2 Vengevines off the top with 2 Rootwallas to get him through.
But the Squeevine draws were beyond good enough.
Oh, yeah.
That was a very, very quick round. I think actual gameplay of this 22.5-minute video we took, what do you think, maybe 10 minutes?
Maybe.
Maybe?
No game went past turn 4.
Yep. Only one game even made it that far.
Most of them went to turn 3.
I don't feel like I learned a lot here. These decks are capable of beating each other.
Yeah.
I don't feel that one of them is necessarily favored.
Squeevine, if you run hot, still feels kind of absurd, and if you don't run hot, feels really janky.
Yeah, but Oath also has the run hot thing too, right? Like,
Yeah.
if I drop a turn 1 Oath and I can protect it, or if you don't have an answer for it and I get to just go off, like, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah. They certainly didn't interact a ton, and the one game where they did not favor me. We'll put it that way.
So there it is. Blazin Oath is now 2-2. We'll see you next week,
That's all.
or in the next video if you're watching the playlist in the future. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye.